Hi everyone, welcome. We're going to be talking fragrances and skincare. I'm going to be referencing some very credible names in the industry, Dr. Dray and LabMuffinScience, and of course we're going to be referencing Hiram. Of course we're going to do that. With that in view, let's get started. I've started this new series called the Knowledge Series where I'm going to be discussing products, myths and facts. I'm not going to be discussing any brands in this series. Right now, the series is just about 4 videos. The intention of this series is to share with you knowledge on the topic so that you as an audience can make a better decision best for your skin and hair, and also understand the facts and the myths. The first topic has got to be fragrance because it is such a discussed topic. I'm sorry, there's some construction going on in our plot opposite, so there are going to be a few noises. I've tried the best time, but nothing works. They just don't stop working. Each of the topics is going to be discussed around 4 parameters. What, why, my additional inputs, as well as how could you use that information for better decisions on your skin and hair. With that, let's first understand what fragrances are. Fragrances are of 2 types, largely. There's the fragrances from extracts, and then there's the fragrances which are synthetic or parfums, and these are manufactured in the labs. The fragrances from extracts come from either seed oils or come from fragrant herbs. The fragrances which are synthetic or perfumes are made in a lab, and these are constructed from the ground up with a lot of compounds which go into making a single fragrance. Big brands pay a lot of money to make fragrances which are called signature fragrances or signature perfumes, which could be used either in their perfume sections or could be used in their skin or hair care. It's big business and these fragrances are really expensive. So keep in mind, because these are constructed from the ground up, generally these fragrances are not irritable because they are stabilized for human use very, very well. The best certification for these fragrances is the IFRA certification. So if you're looking at a product which has fragrance, please go back to the brand and understand whether the fragrance is IFRA or not. If it is IFRA, you can be more than certain that most probably that fragrance is not going to irritate your skin at all. Now let's move on to the fragrances from extracts. When you have fragrances from extracts like seed oils, like avocado, those are absolutely non-irritating. However, when you have fragrances from extracts, aromatic herbs like lavender, jasmine, geranium is where the problem comes. These extracts need to be diluted in alcohol and only then can they be used in a product. And in a product, they should not exceed 0.01% of the total formulation. If they are more than this, they can certainly be irritating. However, if you tend to be more allergic to certain compounds, then unfortunately you would be allergic to this product also because of the fragrance. Could you be allergic to the synthetic fragrance as well? You certainly could be, but it's very hard to figure out what compound in a synthetic perfume or fragrance would be allergic to you because those compounds go into hundreds and are typically not listed in the product because there's very little real estate in the label. So those are harder to pinpoint. Now let's understand why fragrances got a bad name. This is a condensed understanding of what the fragrance in skincare stands for today. The fragrance in skincare started getting a bad name a few years back. It started possibly with Clean Beauty coming out and saying that certain products in your skincare are not good for you. Remember parabens, which are now being declared absolutely safe and are in fact the gentlest preservatives. The same thing happened with fragrance. It was a blanket rule declared that fragrances are bad for your skin, completely avoid them. Then came a few dermatologists who in their practice saw people with allergies to fragrances. Now Dr. Dray puts it very, very well. She says that, the people that they see in their practice are people who are coming to them with allergic reactions. But they aren't seeing thousands and millions of people who are going about their life completely fine despite using fragrances and having no reaction to that. So a dermatologist's take on that could very easily be that, fragrances are causing allergies because that is the data set or the group that they are seeing. However, if you listen to Dr. Dray's video, she does not believe that fragrances deserve the fear-mongering that they've been given in the past few years. Then we have Hiram. Hiram, the cute influencer whom I really love. And he hates fragrances because I'm guessing he's coming from a very personal point of view where fragrances have not done well for his skin. And he is a very popular voice on the internet. So if 10 people heard a few point of view on fragrances, those 10 people told 30 other people, and those 30 other people told 100 more people, and then that information coincided with the clean beauty articles saying fragrances is bad for you, and then we had a credible voice like Paula's Choice saying fragrances are bad for you, and there was a general consensus that fragrances are bad for skin and they cause allergies. And I have personally felt it. I stopped fragrances in my skincare about 6 years back. But during that time when I was treating my melasma and my adult onset of acne, I also made other changes. I made massive lifestyle changes. I started exercising a lot more. I started handling my stress better. So there was a whole lot of changes I made, fragrances being part of it. But because it is so easy to listen to voices and kind of, lean towards confirmation bias, when you hear 100 people say one thing, we believe that more easily as compared to 10 people saying something to you, right? So I believe that fragrances were the most important thing in changing my skin back, which today I realize is false, because 8 months back, we started a project called the Mythbuster Project. We started discussing ingredients, we started discussing myths, and this series is a result of that study. In fact, if you've seen my vitamin C video, it's going to be listed here. That was a video that came out of that project. And with that project, I brought fragrance back into my skincare to see the effect that it would have on my skin. It was a big gamble that I took, but I was ready to take that gamble because I really do trust credible voices. I introduced skincare with fragrance back in my skin in the last 8 months. And I have to say that I've not seen any bad effect on my skin at all. My melasma is still very much under control. My acne is completely under control. There's been no irritation, no inflammation. Before you jump into the wagon and say fragrances are the thing for you, let's understand why is fragrance in skincare to begin with. Well, here's the thing. There is the discussion of fragrance-free and there is product with fragrance. If you go back and understand fragrances or study articles on it, you see that there's nothing really called fragrance-free. There are products which have fragrances coming from extracts or have synthetic fragrances, and then there's the fragrance-free line, which has a compound called masking fragrances or masking agents. Masking agents are again fragrances that are used in a product to neutralize the bad odors and make the product neutral. So technically, they're not fragrance-free. And as you can see on the screen, this is a quote from Dermatology.com where they say that fragrances and masking fragrances are all the same, but have a different purpose. The fragrances are in your products to give you a pleasant smell. The masking fragrance is in your product to control the odor or the bad smell. The purpose behind both of those are the same, to give the client or the consumer a pleasant experience when they're using the product. And that makes complete sense. Now imagine even if you were to make your moisturizer at home, which I do, the video is going to be listed here. I mix shea butter, avocado oil, jojoba oil, sometimes argan oil, then I'll mix lavender extract in it, because the odor of shea butter and jojoba oil and the argan oil together is not very pleasant. And if you have an unpleasant product, how long can you use it? You will instinctively stay away from something that's foul smelling and not use it. So armed with that knowledge, what do? Given that we have credible sources like Dr. Dray saying that the reason she cautions people against fragrances because it's part of her job, if you are irritable to fragrance, it's good for her patients to be aware that this could be a possible irritant. Not to say that fragrances are bad for your skin. If you hear LabMuffinScience, she'll tell you that there are thousands of compounds that go into fragrance and the known allergens are only about 200. And the possibility of you reacting to those fragrances is hugely dependent on how your health is, how your skin barrier is, and how your immune system is. With all of that, what would you do? Would you choose fragrance-free or would you choose products with fragrance? Here is what my take is. I have gone back full force into fragrance products and I'm really enjoying the experience. However, keep in mind, when you have eczema, psoriasis, terrible acne, or you have a immunocompromised situation, then it's always best to exercise caution in every way. And for fragrances, certainly you should. If you've been fragrance free before you introduce a product into your skincare, go the protocol that I always share with my customers. When I introduce a new product, I move back to a default system of just double cleanse and moisturizers. That way, if I'm allergic to the product, I know it immediately in the first 2 to 3 days, because that's the only product that I've introduced new to my skin. If I don't see any reaction in the next 3 to 4 days, then I start introducing products one by one back into my routine. And over a period of 6 to 7 weeks, I'm back to my skincare with a new product. Now that's the short term. In the long term, do fragrances cause inflammation and irritation? I'm not so sure. I've used them for the last 8-9 months and I've not had a reason to worry. The only thing I've done is I've gone back to the brand and asked them if the fragrance in the products is IFRA certified or not. And if it was, I've gone ahead and used the product and not had reason to complain. Fragrances can cause allergic or contact dermatitis if you're allergic to them. In such cases, it's best to get a test done so you can isolate which fragrance is giving you the irritation or that you're allergic to, instead of just moving out fragrances from all of your skincare. Let me know what you think about this. I'm sure you have your own point of view, and what I really love about the audience on this channel is that they're all very thinking people, and I love the questions you send to me. Let's keep it intelligent, let's keep it information based, and let's keep learning and evolving. I look forward to hearing your comments, your questions, and your feedback and what is your experience with it. Till I see you next time, be good to your skin and hair, and also let me know how this series is. It's very easy for me to go back and do a brand review. Those are the easiest videos to make for me personally, but a video like this definitely takes about 40 to 50 hours of work to go into a condensed 14-15 minute video. But I do look forward to hearing from you on what your take is on such kind of videos. Ciao!